Hello.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lunch and Learn Live with Dr. Z and Carissa. We're so excited to have you all here today. Welcome. Give us a shout out in the chat box. Say hello and let us know where you are. And I'm going to make the chat box here visible so I can see it. How are you doing, Carissa?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
I am doing good. It's been, I'm posting
You have a lot of exciting things happen.
Oh my gosh, a lot of exciting things. Sorry, everyone. We missed you last week, but we were super busy. So let's see, where do I put this? I think I got to look it on here. So we were super busy. We had the TEDx talk for those of you who have been following. So the TEDx talk is done. Yay! We'll check off that box. It was a lot of rehearsal, a lot of training, a lot of time, energy, and effort went into that TEDx talk. It was amazing, and it was an amazing experience. And I'm so glad. And for those of you who are like, well, when do we get our TEDx talk? The TEDx talk does not come out until it'll be somewhere probably around December, January. It's got to go through all of the stuff, all of the approvals and stuff from TED. So that process takes a little while. Plus they have to finish, the video processing and all of that. So there's, I guess, a lot of stuff that that takes place there. But we're going to get there, and I'm really excited. And I got lots of
Oh, you're breaking up a little. Hi, Katie.
Okay.
Are you good? Can you hear okay?
I think so. Okay.
All right. I hear you good now.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So just making sure it's going to the other page there. But yeah, so it's got to go through all that approval process. But I had lots of good footage that I got, like from behind the scenes and all of that. So we'll start to get that all out. And then of course, the more stressful part for me was the photo shoot we did. So one of the amazing TEDx speakers is a renowned photographer from the UK. And so a group of us took advantage of her being here and got all of our, professional photos done. And I've got a lot to talk about with that experience because some of you already know we have a program coming out in the spring of next year called Body Beautiful that is about body image and weight loss and loving yourself and all of that. And so it was a good opportunity for me to be face to face with all of my own little gremlins and thoughts and demons and all of that. So it was definitely an opportunity for me to learn and grow, because being in front of the camera, in all honesty, is not my favorite thing to do. So, but there we were. By the end of the photo shoot, I definitely was having a lot more fun than I was in the beginning. And what to wear and the clothes and all of that. I am so not a fashion person, so that was really stressful for me. But I'm getting better. I probably am still dressed like a grandma, but that's okay. with my blue sweater.
I love sweaters.
I do too. And, so yeah, but all of that stuff will be released. I'll probably ask people to help me pick out what some of the best photos are for that. So all of that is coming. Plus we did a soft launch of our Brave and Brilliant book, which is a book that I contributed to. It's with some of the other speakers. And so we had our book signing, and all the VIP guests who were at the TEDx talk received that. And then so you guys, I haven't shared really anything about my TEDx talk. Some of it's supposed to be secret and low key, but one of the things that came out of the process of my TEDx talk is an amazing tool. And so I have a book that's going to launch along with the TEDx talk somewhere around January or February. That's going to introduce that tool to the world, outside of the people who are already got to participate in 10X, because they're aware of it now. So that's going to be really exciting. So you want to look out for that book. And it's going to be January, February-ish, depending on when the 10X. I'm hoping for that January. The book is almost finalized. And then of course we have to go through all the editing process and all that fun stuff. So lots of things happening over here.
So exciting.
Yeah. And then we got a new puppy this weekend, totally by accident. Oh my goodness. Totally by accident. I was driving home from my daughter had her first, competition at Texas A&M, the equestrian team. And I was driving home from her meet and there was a terrible accident on the road. And so some of the traffic started to divert, and we're like, these are like country roads, like unpaved roads. And so there's tons of cars on this road that's never had tons of cars on it. The dust is unbelievable because of all of the cars that are on this gravel road. It was like worse than being in really thick fog. And so as it's like clearing just a little bit, I see this thing literally running in front of my car. And I'm like going super slow. This thing is not stopping. It's not moving. It's not doing it. It's just running for its dear life. And I'm like, oh no. And I've got like, at least 50 or so cars behind me. And I don't remember, but the car in front of me must have finally gotten around the dog. And I'm like, oh my God, what do? I don't want any of these cars to pass because they're not going to see this little dog through all of this dust, And then the guy behind me, I guess he's like tired of waiting for me to go any faster than what I'm going. And it's a big truck, and the big truck goes around. I like roll down my window and I'm screaming like, dog, watch, careful, And so he almost hits the dog. And then it gave the dog enough pause that the dog stopped. And I quickly like stopped my car, opened the back door and threw the dog into the back of the car. And then I closed the door and I get back in the car and I'm thinking to myself, oh crap, now what? What am I going to do with this dog? And clearly, I tried to drive back down the road, see if I can find a house. And I found somebody and they're like, we've never seen this dog before. And so now I've got a dog. So here in Texas, there are a lot of stray dogs, right? They're kind of all over. I guess it's from all the farmland and stuff. So, here we now have this new dog to potty train. She's about 6 months old.
Aww.
Super thin and malnourished. Katie's like, show the dog. Where is the dog?
What's the dog's name?
She's somewhere. Mia has named her Bambi because she's she looks tall and skinny, kind of like a deer. Yeah. But yeah, she's all skin and bones. So
good name, Mia.
We're working on that. And the vet's like, yeah, and she'll be in heat in about 30 days. And I've got 2 male dogs. So now I'm like, oh, not good. And
have to get those little diapers.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a whole lot of research and figuring this out here. But yeah. Oh my gosh. So blessing in disguise. I guess it's just the way it was supposed to be. So
I think so.
Yeah. So one of our kitties died the day I was coming back home. So I guess God decided he was not going to leave any spaces empty in the house. So
that's so hard. I'm so sorry. That's hard, losing a pet.
It is. It's really hard. She was my girl.
Yeah.
She was my girl. Every time you pet her, she just drooled all over the place.
That's a funny cat.
Yeah, but so it's been an exciting week. Thanks guys for listening to my stories. And Katie, if the dog comes over, I will show you the dog. So stay tuned if she comes through here. I don't know where she is right now. So, but anyhow, that's it. We are going to talk a bit about fall exercise because as the season changes, there's lots that we can do to up our fitness routine. I think one of the biggest things, you guys, is fall is one of the perfect times for getting the exercise in outdoors. Mm-hmm. It's not too cold. It's not too hot. It's like right in between. So I don't know, Carissa, what do you have reserved for yourself for fall fitness? How do you change up your routine?
Well, it started for me because I'm like September is my favorite. I call it a month. It's my favorite month, which is like a season to me. I just love September. But
Yes.
anyway, I started looking into the seasons. And I know in traditional Chinese medicine, lungs
Yes.
is what comes up for fall. So they govern not only the respiration, but also the ability in life to release what no longer serves us, just like the trees,
I love it.
right? So I tried to do more breath work in
Mm-hmm.
the fall,
Mm-hmm.
which we'll do more at level 2, the retreat. And then just even things like yoga, which really teaches, breath control and mindfulness. I
Mm-hmm.
never got into Tai Chi, but that's something that I would love to do. And I know some of our clients like to do that.
Yes.
And just like you said, like taking advantage of the fall weather, going for walks, hiking, jogging, although I'm not a jogger, but I know you love to run.
Well, let's clarify that. So I do run, and it's funny. And those of you who have been following me for a while or have been with me, you know my story, right? When I was a little girl, I had pretty severe asthma and ear infections and all of that stuff, and so I never ran, right? Like I always had a doctor note. So, you have to take that like physical fitness test where you have to run a mile. I never did that ever in school because if I did that, it would create problems with my asthma. And so I always had the doctor's note. So for me, I do run because it's like a triumph. So it's not something I necessarily fully love, but it is like, wow, like this is like I can do this. Like, look, it's almost like it's become like a goal, and
Oh, I
it's like
love that.
just really stretching what we know ourselves to be, or how up here's Bambi. Oh no, she just ran away. She just ran away. If she comes back, I'll pick her up for you, Katie. But so for me, it's really a triumph because now I can do this thing that I could never do before. So it is a reinforcement of really how far I've come. And it's that extra push to see how much further I can go. So
That's beautiful. I
yeah,
love that.
yeah, yeah. So that's my running. But the best part really is being outdoors. And one thing I do want to say, because I know that we have some runners in our community. And this is an important thing to bring up. So when we have some of our clients start, their adrenals are in
Mhm.
really bad fatigue, or they're in those menopausal years and they're concerned about the weight gain and the belly fat. One thing to remember about running, excessive running too, as well, is that it can create that stress on the adrenals. So it is not the perfect exercise for everybody all the time, right? And sometimes we actually get more benefit if we do what's called burst training. So we burst, so we run really hard for like 30 seconds, as hard as we can, and then we walk for the next minute or two, and then we run really hard, and then we walk for the next minute or two. So sometimes it's not just about that endurance of run, 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 but we can actually get some real good results by using that running as a burst when we're outside,
That's a
right?
very good idea.
Yeah, yeah. So super super helpful, and I think that actually helps some people who are like, oh my gosh, I can't run that long, but you could run for 30 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Or if you can't run, you can walk really fast for 30 seconds, so that you're out of breath, and then take it all the way back to nice and slow, and then all the way forward where you're pushing pushing pushing, and then all the way back to nice and slow. And from that kind of burst training, you get a lot of benefit. So one of the things I love about the fall is getting outside to do more running. It's not hot. The weather is nice and crisp, and you can do things like burst training, but you can also do any kind of exercises outside during the fall when the weather's nice, especially barefoot on the ground. If you're like in your backyard or something, that's another wonderful thing to do. Um, and then, of course, when the days where we start to have bad weather or storms or whatever's coming that way, then focusing on what you can do indoors. So speaking of burst trading, I'm looking at my stairs here. One of the things I like to do, especially when the weather isn't great, is I will burst up and down the stairs. So I will run really hard up the stairs, down the stairs, and then go nice and easy. And the stairs are a great way to do that because they definitely take something out of you running up and down them. So that's another one that can be done. But I like what you said about yoga too, because that's another good one where you're outside and filling up the lungs with air.
Mm.
Yoga is a lot about not just the poses, but the breath that you're bringing to the poses are really important, and bringing that outside and getting that fresh air and getting connected to the earth and grounding. That's all really powerful things that we can do for the fall.
Yeah. And fresh air really just, I don't know about everyone else, but I know it improves my mood. It reduces my stress. Just being outside too, I know the fresh air strengthens your immune system as
Yeah.
well. So I think that's important as we transition into the colder months as well. And then we also get to soak up that natural light,
Yes.
which also enhances our energy and vitality, because we tend to kind of go indoors in this season. And I get it. I don't really love the cold either, but it's important, at least even in the winter too, just to get that sunrise, that sunset, if you're not able to spend that time outside.
Yeah. One of the things, now that you bring that up, Carissa, one of the things that I think is really, and actually like a benefit of the fall too, is I know a lot of our clients struggle with schedule and struggle with, eating early and going to bed early and doing all of those things. And as the days become shorter, it does give us an opportunity maybe to get into bed a little bit earlier, work with your body's circadian rhythm. And that's helpful for our energy, for our metabolism, for our body's healing and repairing. I think those are really important things. So we get the extra benefit of that. Nature is going along with us and supporting us in that manner. But getting outside, like you said, is so important. If you can, the sun is coming up a little bit later, so getting out for the sunrise and being able to be with the sun at that sunrise period of time is really valuable, for your health, for your circadian rhythm. I like to do that every morning and be grounded doing that. So, be barefoot on the ground when I'm doing that.
Yeah, definitely. But I have done it in, a robe and not grounded, but still outside.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And, the other thing too that I love about the fall, and we should, one of the things that gives us the energy and the stamina and all of that too is making sure that we're eating seasonally. So as we're moving into the fall, focusing on those seasonal vegetables, the sweet potatoes, the squashes, the apples, the pumpkin, all of those different things, which by the way, all of these fall things are, she's back in here. I don't know if she's going to let me pick her up. They're all really high in fiber. So that's a really good thing to keep our digestion going, have us be fuller during the winter months, and making sure that we're, using these to really enhance our workouts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just think I love embracing the outdoors. I love just putting on a sweatshirt, leggings, and getting out there and breathing that in. And if you dress appropriately, it actually feels very, very comfortable. I think that's the key too, is that we really just need to dress appropriately. I know we don't want to always put on those jackets, but if you find like a nice sweatshirt and a long sleeve thermal underneath, that's how I typically go out. Sometimes a hat, sometimes a hat is all I need, and even gloves. And I'm very happy being out there.
Yeah, and having layers, right? Because sometimes when we are working out, now we're starting to sweat, things are getting heavier. So you got that sweatshirt on and you got the long sleeve shirt underneath, and you can, pull that sweatshirt off if it starts to get uncomfortable. So that's important. But there's also there's a lot that we can do outdoors. So you like the hiking, like you said, the jogging that we talked about. Even bicycling can be done outdoors. It's a good season for rowing or kayaking or, boot camp things. Let me see if I can grab her here. Oh, let's see. Here's our little Bambi.
Aww. She does look like a Bambi. She has like those doe eyes.
Yeah.
And I imagine she must have very long legs.
she's got longer legs. I mean, she's small. She's 20 pounds, but she is super
She
sweet
is super
and
cute.
calm. And the other dogs get along with her, which is important. Of course, the cat doesn't get along with anybody, but um, yeah. So she is super sweet. Say bye, Bambi. Bye. But she's super easygoing. We got to work on the potty training. That's,
Well, yeah, she's in a new surrounding, so I'm sure she's just anxious and then wants to mark her territory everywhere.
well, she's never lived in a,
Mm,
she's like,
that too.
she's pure wild animal. So she's never
Wow.
lived, I don't know, anywhere. She loves bugs. I guess that's kind of what she's lived on is bugs. So yeah.
That's kind of cool. You won't have any bugs in your house. I love my cat for that. My cat does that.
Yeah, we've watched her. She chases all the bugs and eats them. I guess she's gotten really good at it. She's a really good hunter of bugs. Anyway, but yeah, so moving back to fall. There you go, Katie. she she is a blessing. She's super sweet. So it'll be even better when we have her fully potty trained. We'll get there and work out this going into heat thing. So yeah. But what else, Carissa? So we talked about like you can do HIIT training and boot camp trainings outside. It's a really good opportunity to do that. So anything that you can move to the outdoors, I think is going to be good. It's also a good time for like the fall sports, like playing soccer or kickball or things like that with the kids. That's another way to get the exercise in without it feeling like exercise.
Yes, that's very true.
Yeah.
I just really love being out. I love to go to trails or to parks because it really kind of takes the focus off of the exercise and I'm more in tune with my surroundings and myself.
Yeah.
So it just feels so good to be out there. And it's such
Yeah.
a beautiful time of year with the leaves falling and the leaves changing.
Yeah.
And, you could take a couple-hour drive up north
Yeah.
and see all the beautiful fall foliage. So there's a lot to do out there. And I think it's a lot nicer than doing summer workouts outside. I think that we just have to remember to like keep cultivating these healthy habits so we can become, more strong, more resilient as we just move into the winter months.
Yeah, and I think too, so if you're able to work out when it's daylight hours, right? Because again, we're having less and less daylight hours. That is better for your circadian rhythm. Obviously, do not allow that to be a block. But if that is something that you can do, that's something that you definitely want to get in, because that's going to, keep up your body with the way that it should be kept up. In other words, you're gonna maintain that circadian rhythm properly, and that's important. I'm looking, Miss Carissa. I'm looking because I want to. I know we got just a couple minutes here. I want to talk about. I'm looking for our. So next week, you guys, we will not have Lunch and Learn live because I am off at another training again. And this is the craziest time of years for training. It's a super. Everyone schedules everything for the fall. But I was looking for our next topic and I'm not finding it here. I should have pulled it up.
Next topic is breast cancer awareness.
Okay, so I just want to touch on that really, really briefly, you guys, with the time that we have. So you will see we have scheduled a lot of posts that I want to bring awareness to. One of the biggest things that we encourage here at South Bay Wellness, obviously, is getting to the underlying root cause. And this time of year, I do take a lot of issue with what I call the pink washing. So there's all of this pink, pink, pink. And it's really pushed heavily by companies that are actually putting things out that are creating issues that cause breast cancer. So the chemical companies, the pharmaceutical companies, some of the food companies. And so I encourage you guys to switch your focus to what true prevention is. Okay. And that is focusing on your diet, your exercise, your lifestyle, your stress management, your detoxification. These are the things that are more important to breast cancer than just putting up pink ribbons. And this infuriates me because we do need to have campaigns, right? We do want to prevent breast cancer. And the way that we do it is by focusing on those things. So
I agree. It definitely incites a little bit anger when I see like KFC or just other companies in that respect that are like, buy this fried food, because now you're supporting breast cancer. And it's kind of throughout the industry. And it's so sad because, as most of us know, our food industry is very poisonous.
yeah,
Especially here in the States, it's a little
yeah,
bit different out of the country.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, that's the other thing, Carissa, that I'd like to point out as well. And I had this conversation with a client this morning. I know you guys are all going out to buy stuff for Halloween and for the trick or treaters. And I invite you to really examine what it is that you're purchasing. Like, I'll have clients who'll say, "Oh, I got the candy, but I'm keeping it far away from me." Hey, you guys, we're still giving that out to the kids.
yeah.
So all of those candy bars that are given out at Halloween, they are, and I invite you to look at it differently, and I may get some pushback on this, but it's poison, right? It may not have an impact as fast as taking some arsenic under your tongue and having that have an immediate impact, but it is a poison to the body. The food dyes, the high fructose corn syrup, the loads of sugar, the artificial ingredients. You guys, these things are poison. So when we're trick or treating and the kids are trick or treating and we're handing that out to them, we are reinforcing this culture of it being okay to poison our kids, essentially. And so I invite you, as you go out and think about what you are, offering to trick or treaters, it doesn't need to be junk. It doesn't need to be candy. Maybe it is something healthier on the spectrum if it has to be a food. I know we don't do fruit and stuff like that anymore because, someone spoiled that with razors or something back in the day, right? But maybe it's a healthier version of certain foods, or maybe it's not food at all. I like to give out other things, pencils or little games or things like that. Instead, some people give out money. But yeah, these are really important to think about. What else can I give to these kids versus giving them candy?
Mm-hmm.
Little notebooks, little tchotchkes, maybe things that they can use for school. Like I said, pencils, erasers, all of those things are fairly inexpensive and can still be bought in bulk. What's the company?
You're talking about the Chinese trading company or something?
Oh yeah, Oriental Trading.
Oriental
Trading, like they always have like little things like that or stuff
in bulk that you can get it. Yeah, and they're not very expensive. So yeah, it's a good site.
So thinking about other alternatives, I like to from Oriental Trading, excuse me. From Oriental Trading, they have like little crafts and things like that. So I'll give out little crafts to the kids, or you can give them crayons or little puzzles, or what are those things? Fidget spinners, like little things like that in place of the garbage, right? Because we do want to reinforce to our kids that, okay, we can still have a happy, healthy Halloween without poisoning ourselves. So I know poison,
the more other people will join. It really does happen.
Exactly. I know poison is a very strong word, but I am using it very intentionally because most of what goes out on Halloween is poison for those children and poison for any of the adults who want to eat that stuff. And remember that where we make our purchases, we are always voting with our money, right? We're always voting with our dollars. So be conscientious of that as well. We'll have more and more alternatives if people stop what they're used to getting and say, oh, it's Halloween, we should just get the kids candy. It's just one day. What are we reinforcing? And that's what I encourage everybody to think about. May not be the most popular opinion, but it is our reality, especially in this day and age, and what is available, to the kids. So we should be concerned about those things.
Agreed.
With that, and you guys, my kids do go out trick-or-treating, and we get a visit from the candy fairy. So all of their candy gets left on the doorstep. And the candy fairy comes and she uses it for food for her little baby fairies. And she transmutes it into fruits and vegetables to feed them all winter long. And in exchange, she leaves them a little gift. And that's what happens at our house for Halloween.
That is very cute. I love that.
Yeah, the candy fairy.
Very cool.
So I leave that with all of you as you're starting for your Halloween preparation. And just as a heads up, you guys, on October 17th, we have our Root Cause Jumpstart Wellness Program. That is for people who are brand new to South Bay Wellness, who are wanting to kind of dip their toe in, learn more about what we do, and start to get to some of the underlying root causes of their health issues. And of course, the end of the month, we have our level 2 retreat. Unfortunately, it is closed. It is only open to those who participated in our level 1 retreat. But I will tell you guys, heads up, mark your calendars. I believe somewhere around the Black Friday mark, we'll have some specials for our upcoming retreat for next year, for 2025. And that will be open to everybody again. So, all right, Miss Carissa, we are a few minutes over, so yes. We'll say goodbye to everybody, and we'll talk to you all soon.
Bye. Take care.